આપણે અંદાજે છે ને શહેરમાં જઈએ છીએ સરસ મજાની ફિલ્મ જોવા.
મારે પ્રકાશ બનવું છે. પ્રકાશમાં જ વાર્તા બને.
તો વાર્તાગારો છે.
I was fortunate to watch, the last show, Chello Show, the original Gujarati version in PVR Kochi with Pan Nalin and team. So it was a wonderful experience. And the thing is that visuals were amazing. Yeah, I don't have to say this. Emotions were, especially I loved the mother character. How that relations are built. Entire movie is carrying us, that way it is very impressive. I would love to know, how you got into this picture, how you were selected, and what was the briefing that was given to you.
So it was, I think, one rainy night. It was almost 11 p.m. My friend, colleague, Jackie calls me. And he asked me for an audition, and he was like, send it right now. I was like, listen, Jackie, I'm not home right now, it's raining, and you want me to be in a sari, so wait till morning. In the morning I'll record something and I'll send it to you. So I did exactly that. Then a day later he again called me, and he was like a revised version of the same audition, just a slower version. So I did that again. So same evening around 4 I get a call from Jackie, and he's like, we are putting you on train and you are coming to Gujarat. And after this I was like, okay, tell me something about this film. Okay, listen, he's Pan Nalin, and I don't know what you know about him or not, but if you do this, you're never looking back, your life will change, I'm telling you. And it was a very blissful day. It was afternoon, it was raining outside, I was sketching my mom's sketch. Now see, now this is something I still can't believe. I was actually in that, how what a child feels for the mother, that gratitude, the love, and I had this picture in front of me which I was trying to recreate, where my mom is holding me and I'm like, probably, I don't know, few months old or a year old. Probably I was a year old. So, and my mother was looking beautiful. I loved that picture all my life, and I was drawing that, and it was also kind of nice. So at that moment, you see this mother thing. I didn't even know what the universe is knocking at my door for. So I was like, okay, fine. Soon the people started calling me, the production, this, that. I had my tickets. So I go to Gujarat. I travel 16 hours overnight, and from there I get a cab and I go to this hotel. So there I see everyone. There's like many people kind of, prepping up for something. And I'm told that this evening I'll be auditioned by Dilip Shankar, who happened to cast for Life of Pi, Lion, like Suraj, and Bhag Milka Bhag, and many other like nice films in his kitty. So I was of course nervous. So so that audition happened, and then I was told that next morning you'll be again auditioned by Dilip Shankar, and this time also by Pan Nalin. I was like, okay. There was this chart, the production room kind of had a list. So it had all the departments, like, okay, tomorrow this department on this recce, this department on this sourcing, this department on this footage recording, or and only mine was something Richa Meena Baz audition. So I was like, oh my God, everyone's role is kind of decided, and it's only mine. And it's only mine is the one thing which is not sure, which is still being looked for. And I'm not on the list yet. It's only my audition. I was like, okay, Richa, I told to myself in that moment, okay, you know what? I like everything that's happening here. I like the vibe. I like the place. We were in Gir Forest. So I'm I'm talking about me being in Gir, you see, and there's this beautiful resort. And I was like, okay, you know what? I am their answer. I am their bar. I am not going from here without being their bar. I am here. I'm here to stay. I want to experience everything now. This place, these people, and all this group that has kind of come and together as one and doing something. I want to be part of whatever they are creating. So I told myself that, and next morning, then Pan Nalin and Dilip Shankar again auditioned me. They auditioned me also like for various scenes, and also where she, like, the final goodbye that she says to Samay. So yeah, that was it. Same evening, both of these cool people, they tell me, "Okay, please come sit and we'll be very happy if you come on board with us as bar." So I think that's how this is not the short, this is not the long, this is exactly the version how it happened with me.
It was amazing as a mom, looks the way that affection, and when I think everyone would have noticed that scene when the father is beating up this Samay, and you are jumping out of the cart and coming and picking and throwing the lathi, and that is superb, and you're holding the boy, how was, I mean, how was the briefing as a mom, because how much ever I say about that character, it won't be more, I think, because each of those scenes where you are and that affection part, it's very embracing, so very, we had our eyes wet. I think this might have happened for all the viewers.
So Nalin, he told me that actually this character doesn't have many words. She's not a person of words, and she's just really in her own. And of course, if you look at this family, they don't really have a lot. You see, it's not that they have fancy clothes or fancy life, or even like as if husband is earning a lot, but still this lady somehow holds it all together, and she just makes the best out of it. So she's that lady, she's that person who's nurturing the family and whatever she has, and I think she's very content. That's which something I realized, I understood also later on. Nalin, so what Nalin did, he just kind of gave me these pointers. Now I had enough. Luckily, I had enough time, and and to kind of really go deep into, because otherwise being content, if I had words, it's easier because I can simply write the emotion of a certain word. But when you don't have words, you're only basically feeling, or you just don't say. So there, it's really important that you must be feeling that, and how to feel being in the moment, how to feel that you need to practice being in the moment. So I really had to tap into her energies, you see, because she is a woman who lives really in the middle of nowhere. She has a family, and she has so much to give. So for sure, she has something in her to kind of tap into that energy, where a person has a lot of satisfaction within themselves, and the peace, especially the peace, it's only a byproduct of something more, more in connection with the energies or with the nature or universe. So I had to kind of do all that to myself and understand it for real. I don't know if that perfectly answers your question, because this character is like that. I can't really tell you, oh, I woke up at this, or of course that is the secondary part, but I really try to explain it from the core perspective.
Okay, coming to this, which again people would have loved, the dishes being made, so nicely with love. You have every movement in that there is love in those visuals, and visuals are amazing. That with the top angles and the way you're placing each of this, taking time, so. How was that scene? Did you learn anything in in cooking and all?
So I don't know how to put this, but let's say they were really lucky to have found a real cook in life also. Yeah, so I really love cooking. I've been cooking since the age of 4-5 years. Probably I started kneading my dough probably at 3, like playing with my father, being a team with my father. So yeah, and so I know, being an artist, cooking is an art too. Cooking is at the same time is meditation too. You're creating something, And if you are really good at it, it's not only you who'll enjoy it, but whoever eats, it's gonna give them the happiness, the satisfaction, and the joy, you see. And at the same time, you can bond over food, you can talk so many things over food. So I always love that. And so somehow these people, of course, my first audition included that I'm just doing some work in the kitchen, just random, no dialogues, nothing, just I'm doing something, I'm being in the kitchen. So probably the first thing that they really tried to see in the audition is like my presence in the kitchen, or like without doing something, probably doing or something. Yeah. So and of course, not in the film, not that everything I cooked I knew. For example, that famous ravioli, palak dal dhokli. So I was even nervous there, because the camera was just right here, and I had to place certain masala, and I had to cover it up. I had never done that earlier. So of course, good thing is you didn't see it on my face, because they only used my hands, you see. But yeah, like even when I see it in the film, I'm like, oh, thank God nobody knows how nervous I was, you see. So yeah, there are moments where you just want to be your best, and you don't know if you're good at it. So yeah.
Evening after I watched the film, when I came home, I searched for this recipe for palak dal dhokli.
You did? Wow.
But unfortunately, I did not try because I got busy with something else. But then, if I look at the history, I'll have that. I'll go back and check that again.
So many people, they ask me, oh, please tell us the recipes. Oh, the food was amazing. Oh, do you really cook that food? Oh, do you also eat that food? Did you also eat that food? So yeah, of course, I ate that food. Of course, I was lucky. And also, so most amazing part was to I was also sent to these local people's house in that region, where I've literally went and I've washed their clothes. I have like in a mohalla, certain things I did here, some work, maybe some dal I cooked in the other house, or under, of course, assisting the ladies, just watching them and observing them. But the good thing was, in the end, once we were done with all our cooking and all our work, kapda vapda, all the food would come to me. Everyone's kitchen, like food from every kitchen, like different kind of bangan with the mufali, how she's making in the film, and yeah, this bhindi, lady fingers, and dal, meaty dal, and it used to be amazing. It used to be spicy, and I was surprised. I was like, oh my God, Gujarati food is really spicy too, because I'm a Rajasthani and love spicy food. And I had this misconception that probably it's everything sweet, but no, it's so. I see you're watering. You see, yeah, I know you want to eat food. Yeah, so I had a blast. Yeah.
And even the way it is presented, the way elaborate, shots of the making, and this guy having it, and you are saying what I'm making, Samay is coming to you and asking, like, and that shot of him with umbrella and dancing, and the whole scene is built up, and and finally when this guy is enjoying it, like,
Yeah.
it's very.
Yeah, actually, there's a journey of the food. Actually, food is the fourth character. You see? Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, in fact, I was about to say that, as in unless there is this mom and this food, I mean, the boy is not going to reach anywhere,
No, not at all. Not, that's why it was also probably very important to show the food, you see, because the food carries certain emotion from mother. It's not just the food that you actually see, but you connect it to how she's making, how nicely, and with lots of love. She's even preparing bhindi, and she's even asking, by the way, you too don't eat bhindi, na? She knows. And then you see, of course, she doesn't know, but at least the audience gets to see both the sides. You see, I don't like bhindi at all. And then he's enjoying, what the lady finger is called. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting. Very interesting.
This film has been screened in many places, in India, abroad, and you were also traveling to some of the places. So, in general, how's the feedback after people watching? It would be diverse, like many people outside India. Of course, as you have told in one of the interviews, I heard that emotions are universal. So and without any language, I think it is very communicating. So I am very eager to know how people reacted to the.
Uh, I had no idea that actually we would receive so much of love. My character would receive so much of love, and probably somewhere, especially, of course, what's happening with the guys, the love for the cinema. You see, which is, of course, there's so many people who are connecting on that level. Then projectionist, you see, we were at Red Sea Film Festival in Saudi Jeddah right now, and there were these people like famous journalists, and they're saying like, you know what, when we got to know this, we didn't even want to watch the trailer or anything. We just straight away watched the film, because you see, we were like, I was a projectionist, and so many people, anyone who was from the film line, or how they were first smitten by this bug called cinema. Or so some people are connecting on that level. Some people are connecting on the level of like how, like a typical father, like especially Indians, they're connecting a lot with the father figure. And let's say the Baz character. Somehow, the most wonderful thing about this Baz character is mothers. Tell me, we would not, and not anyone would be here without a mother, right? So through her character, it's like every kid is also feeling the feelings which they have for their mother, and all the mothers are the feeling, the love, the selfless love for their children. So like we were at the Red Sea, and there was a pair of mother and daughter. And the daughter was probably 22, 24, and she was like, you just reminded me of my mother. Now something like this coming to me is very special in certain way. Like like it's through my job, I could remind someone of their mother. The mother is like, I don't think, like, if I can talk about myself, there's anything more precious, more, I don't know, the purest form I have is of mother, let's say. Like for me, the most important thing happens to be mother. So I think if I've touched that note in anyone's heart, I think I feel just blessed. I feel blessed, and yeah, so much of love is coming my way. So I'm just thankful. Yeah.
True, and each of you looks so proud about your kids, your family. I mean that's very much conveying, as in. So I think people can relate to, and many times, we've had our eyes wet, seeing the affection and the work, Nalin's contribution of that emotions, as in, how even when this boy is taken for the movie, and he's feeling the film, or you can.
Yeah. I just had this moment day before yesterday. Now wherever you see such light, I think it was actually a night, not even a house party, but they had certain lights. And at night, you can't help it, but once you just recreate it. It's so magical. And I think also in the film, that moment kind of starts taking you. That's the first time actually when the film talks to you, or the film world, or anything related with you can really feel the film. So I think, yeah, Nalin really captured the moment and the magic there, I guess.
Interestingly, all the available, like he has very limited access to whatever is. I mean, for a privileged kid, probably he can ask for some materials to his parents, but he's like taking the bulb out of the train. Whatever resources are available around him, the board.
Yeah.
Such things on the projection, and the way it's kind of not a dub smash, like they were enacting when, because the reel doesn't have audio as part
Yeah, yeah. I know, genius. You only say word like genius when you see something like that. You see? Yeah.
And interestingly, yeah, of course, we would think that okay, it's a kids' play, and the camera is moving to show that the mom is also there watching the, you know.
Yeah, that was a little surprise in there. There's little fight. There's this, moment of strength. You see, yeah, I love how Nalin did it. You see, each time, it's just exactly how much you need. It's the right namak. You see.
And talking about that, you have worked on other films, and I'll come to your background, after this. But there is a difference in the way. I mean, I assume in the making also, the film is being made with the value adds of emotions coming out of it. So, how did you find the making of the film, or Nalin's way of making? How is it different?
I told you, right, that the moment I landed there, I was like, I'm liking everything. Whatever these guys are doing, I'm loving it. And I want to be part of that. So the moment I landed, like in this resort in Gujarat, I knew the vibe. You can feel, you feel if the energies are elevated or not. You see if it's flowing with freedom or not. If every artist is vibing in the time and in their art or not. You kind of, you see, it's all vibe, it's all energies, right? So I kind of felt it right then and there, and that's what made me also decide that I'm vibing my energies with this energy too. You see, so of course, it was very different. The whole team was there already in like before 1 month they started shooting, and everyone was, it wasn't last minute thing, or it was really, and beautiful thing was everyone, most of the people, they were contributing as a team for this film, mainly for their pure of like love for the art, like for the cinema, or because they know what Nalin is capable of doing. They were not on this project because of any monetary gains, but just they wanted to be to contribute something in whatever Nalin was trying to make, basically. So you understand that, right? So it was that vibe throughout, and every day we would know that we are creating magic. I think everyone was only and only in present. Nobody was even bothered about the future, or you see, we get questions like, oh, did you think at that time it will go to Oscars or anything? But actually, we never had the time and even the desire to like really get into the future, because the present was so beautiful. See, it's so honest actually. So I think that's the leader's magic. What energies he kind of exhibits, that everyone kind of taps in that energy and just start working as one. So yeah.
When we started the conversation, you said you were drawing, you were creating. So I understand that you have a background that when in addition to that, you come from Jaipur, a place where there are colors, like you talked about taste. Food, there are lots that you bring to the table, or to the contributing to the. So could you please talk about the background from?
I come from a normal middle class family. My father worked for a bank, and now he's retired. My mother is a housewife, and both are beautiful people, very good human beings. I learned a lot from them. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to copy them. Actually, I know the knowledge, but there's a still gap between me knowing and me then actually following it. And yeah, then of course we have lots of little bit of farming background, and my father was the first one in his time to kind of this have a job, like government job. And probably now I'm the first in my family to kind of, not just my family, but let's say the area where I come from, or the kind of community where I belong, to be kind of the first person or face or name to kind of make it in a very different way people didn't think, imagine, expect. So yeah, that's kind of something which I'm doing on my personal front.
Now it's not just the Bollywood who is going to know you. It's like, the entire world is knowing you. So maybe for people who do not know, how you came into the industry.
So I was this person who loved stage, who loved stage, who loved dancing. And my mom used to be so happy seeing me dance, and she would love when I would dance at anyone's wedding, anyone's wedding on anything. And she'd like, go, 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 go dance. So, of course, that's actually that way at least I learned how to express myself and really have fun being on my own and in my own thing, you see. So that, and then of course I started taking part in every dance competition, every dance program, school or colleges throughout all the years. And so of course I knew that I'm most happy when I'm on stage expressing and just being, just not bothering about anyone, and just being in your own rhythm and head and still enjoying and expressing. And good thing is then everyone enjoys. Whoever watches you, they also enjoy, and they do come to you and they do express that how happy they were also, of course. So it's something like a festival, little festival. So, and then of course then it got extended to stage as an acting theater. And then one summer after finishing my school, I went to join some course because I was always very good with my handcraft. I've always won all the competitions I ever took part in, rangoli making, salad dressing, or anything. I always would win or at least secure some spot. So yeah, then theater happened, and I realized, okay, this is another level to what I love. Now here you don't only dance and show something with your eyes or with your expression or gestures, but you can also use, and you can also cry, you can also laugh, you can also do other kind of emotions which let's say dancing doesn't really have. Like dancing has sadness and all, but okay, but still much more louder and more grand. So I love that. And then I had the desire to be on the set, and that I managed being an extra on a set because I wanted to see how people shoot. And there was some shoot happening in Jaipur with Genelia D'Souza and Herman Baweja. And I was like, I fought with my family and like, no, I've got to see. And I was happy that I was also getting 2,000 rupees for actually to see the set, to see the job happening. So I was like, perfect. So I go there. And the very first day also, some people call me, come. I was like, okay, why are they calling me? Okay, they want to give you a line. I was like, oh, really? So all the extras, because they were extra from a very long time, they were very happy for me. Oh, very first day, and you get this chance. So there was this scene with the Nana Patekar, and there was this wedding scene. So I was supposed to be this bride's friend. So right after the camera turns on, you have to say certain that friends wali line, kuch are tu to bahut achhi lag rahi hai, kuch, and then kuch aise hota hai. अब पहला दिन था, कुछ पता भी नहीं था, कुछ ऐसे कुछ करते, कुछ एक्शन होता है या नहीं होता, उससे पहले मेरी लाइन तो कट, ये नहीं, पहले ये, उसके बाद वो कि अच्छा दोबारा कहीं पे लाइन के ना, अरे कट, नाना पाटेकर ही इंटरप्ट, लाइक अरे बेटा पहले ये होगा, पहले कुछ साउंड आएगा या कुछ वो आएगा, फिर एक्शन होगा, उसके बाद आपने बोलना. तो ऐसे करके फिर मैंने एक्शन पे मेरी लाइन बोली, एंड आई रियलाइज कि ओ ये तो बहुत मुश्किल है. मतलब इट वाज not like I was an actor when I said those lines. I just did it. But during that time on the same set, there were some people on second day or something. There were some people from National Geographic Channel. They were looking for their Mumtaz Mahal for German ZDF National Geographic Channel documentary. They clicked my pictures and they asked me to be on some set. 2-3 days later, had a meeting with me, and then I was on this documentary. So that's how, roughly, now you understand it was all by chances and just sheer desire, love for my art. So when my passion for this craft kind of took me to places, and from those places I was further taken to a next place. So it just happened all my life. Probably it happened. Main thing is like my passion and my excitement. I'm still excited wherever I see a camera. I still feel like that girl, you have this like, yes, even I'm here, shoot me too. So I still enjoy that. I still love that.
Very inspiring. In fact, this is a very small YouTube portfolio, Medium, I think is its name. And I started it during lockdown. First, on the first of January 2020. Initially, I was doing very small things, but then I loved I love conversations always, especially people who inspire, like, and what I say about my conversations are like, conversations that inspire. So what I hear from you is very, very, very inspiring. So thank you so much for joining. And you are also part of making. I saw somewhere that you and a foreigner's name, I don't remember the name. You were into making a film, something.
Yeah. So yeah. This also, so actually, it goes long back. Even before coming to Mumbai, I had done certain things for sure. I had done this documentary. I had done one travelogue series for Doordarshan where I traveled entire Rajasthan, and probably one more two things. But then my mom, dad, they were not so keen of me being in this industry. So I wanted to study filmmaking and all, but they didn't allow. They didn't let me go. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll not work in front of the camera, but at least let me just work behind the camera and all. And that also happened after for 1 year, me doing nothing because they didn't let me go to the college. I was like, okay, you know what? It's not important for a person to really work if that work is not of their choice. It's fine if they don't work, right? So for 1 year, just to prove them, you thought I wanted to study filmmaking, but you thought, okay, I can maybe study anything. Then that's not the case. If I can't study what I want, I don't have to study, right? So I didn't do anything. So probably they realized something. Okay. Probably this time they overstepped a bit. So, but in that time, after for 1 year of maintaining this rigidness, I told them, okay, now I'm working behind the camera. So for 3 years, I directed, edited, like Jaipur level, corporates ads or some designers ad, because Jaipur is also a cool industry for, like every place is a good industry, let's say, when it comes to brochures or ads or something, or just a wedding video, like, so I've done all that. And then I got to Mumbai, and then there was this Khan, this director, he's a French director, and I read once that, okay, they're shooting something in Jaipur, and they're looking for AD. And I had also done AD's job, actually. I had done in Bombay, I had done AD's job, I had done casting director's job, I had done EP's job, or I had done various jobs. I was like, okay, you know what, in Jaipur, they're not gonna find better person than me. I have to be this. Yeah. I have to be this. And there was no pay and all, but then I thought to myself, okay, I'll stay in maybe for 10 days, even if I'm in Mumbai. Okay, maybe I'll get some job. Okay, I'll also earn some money. But I was like, what about the experience? What about the learning? A person who has been to that level, I'm sure if I work under him, it'll be like my schooling. And probably, because I never was allowed to study filmmaking, but that hunger stayed. So now I think in life I'm here to just learn from anything, everything. Just that the student, basically the heart of that student is always open, and I think I'm so blessed, and I hope it'll be like this forever. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going and I'm doing this job without any pay, but I'm sure whatever I'm gonna receive will be much more important. So yeah, I went and I did that, but then director said after 2-3 days, because it involved a lot, because he was French, there was Hindi, we had local people, then there was casting, there was costume, there was makeup, and because I had done everything in my life prior to that, कहीं ना कहीं बहुत सारे साल बहुत लगे थे, वो सब कुछ वहां पे काम आ गया और मैंने सब निचोड़ दिया था. Director on third day is like, you know what, I need to talk to you now. The work that you're doing is not of an assistant. What you're doing is of an director. So please, will you be on board with me as the co-director? So that's how then of course we together we finished the film, we did the post and all, and it was in JIF, it was certain places, but my schooling then happened like this. You understand that? How beautiful, kind of, I really wanted that, and also adamant that I sacrificed 1 whole year without any fear. Kyo? But see how the life brings the whole schooling to you, and that too not where you are paying, but you are only earning, receiving. So I think yeah, so that's how it happened. And Nalin also kind of when that person and Jackie had seen this work of mine actually with the French. It's called Ghumantu the Wanderer. So he kind of knew my work as an actor, and he also said that Nalin that I'm also a director, and because the film also involved me working with the kids. So they also kind of thought probably that it's also good that she can. So yeah, in the end, everything you'll ever learn, everything you ever know, everything you kind of invested time in, when how it kind of comes back to you, you don't know, but once you know, it's just beautiful.
Very, very, very inspiring, because I know people are dying to get admission in some of the schools. I mean, filmmaking schools or something.
Yeah.
But this is like, you are experienced in all the domains, all the different departments of filmmaking, and it's really inspiring. Best training is when you work with directors who have vision.
Yeah.
So I can relate to what you said, as because and especially people like Nalin and yeah, by the time you reach Nalin, you have explored all those areas, but then still that's amazing. Actually, it's a big learning, I think, for people who are aspiring actors, or whoever wants to work in any of the departments in film industry, I think. Thank you so much. And before winding up, may I know your colleagues as well, please?
So Ashish, there are not many projects as of now because I'm really taking some time, and so I'm just going for a shoot. I think there's this director who directed KD, right? So they're recreating it in Hindi. So I'm shooting for that. I think I'm going for that. It's a very small role, but because I really love the director and I love the film KD. So it's a very, very small role though, but I don't want to miss my chance to work with such an amazing director. And I think it has Abhishek Bachchan, and it has Ahmad Shah and Imacha, and I don't know much about this, but I'm going, and let's see let's see. Fingers crossed for something amazing to happen. No hurry.
Have you been watching Malayalam films?
I do. Yeah, I love that.
Any that you recall, like need not be recent. Any of them that you really like? Oh, okay, this comes.
For example, Kitchen. You see this.
A Great Indian Kitchen.
Great Indian Kitchen, and there was this bull where people chase the bull.
Jallikattu.
Jallikattu. Of course, these famous ones also, and there was this beautiful film about this man and this younger kid where they go to this farm, they collect lotus. I don't know, I forget names. Okay, so I watch a lot of content, but I'm really bad with the names and all. But I know the culture. I remember the culture from the film. I remember the smell. You see, although you can't smell, but if you show me river and some lotus and some paddy fields, of course I kind of know you're collecting coconuts, so I know the lungis and all. So, and I travel a lot, of course. I've traveled Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Kanyakumari, extensively I've traveled. So for me it's just I know, and whenever I see that thing being, and of course one very good thing that I like about the cinema in down south is they're really bringing out the stories from the core. So that's something which I really adore, because you really get to see more and more and more and more of India. Because sometimes even how much would you be able to travel? Traveling is like getting to know people's life and talking to them, understanding them, and films are exactly that too. So of course, like when you kind of mix travel and the films, you have a better world, you have a bigger world.
You're right. As in when we talk about Malayalam films, or now generally South Indian films also, mostly what people in the film industry, they talk about content is the king. That
Yeah.
way, I think, and it relates to what you said. And so, having said that, will you be taking up any offers if that comes from Kerala, Malayalam?
Please. I would love that. Of course, because I see an opportunity of living some amazing characters in there. You see, and something which will also, I'm sure, it'll challenge me too. So one time I was on the set and it was in Tamil film, and I found myself like to be challenged so much with the language, of course, a different culture, and yeah, it was. I had to put in a lot, but that was fun. Yeah, some amazing roles come my way, some amazing directors. There are amazing directors down south. So of course, if they take me, and I was so happy about staying when we were shooting, staying in Kanyakumari, eating the food every day. You know, those dosa like rotis or roti like dosas, whatever way. And yeah, I'm a traveler. Make me travel just.
It was so fun, so interesting, so energizing, so inspiring. I think people who are listening this also would be, energized, and especially, kids who are kids in the sense youngsters who, for me, they are kids. So youngsters who are looking for, aspiring filmmakers, actors, it would be very energizing for them. And I'm hoping that filmmakers down south will look for you for the amazing work you have done in.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for just finally having me. I know you did a lot of hard work, but finally managed this meeting happen. And thank you so much.
Great. Wish you all the best. Let this go on Oscar, wherever it can reach, and then those emotions that which you already said, emotions are universal. Let that get carried. And
super. Ameen.
Thank you so much.